Hey everyone, we are here at the MasterTech Expo and I'm joined by Herman Schulmeister of Sound Innovations and also ORCA Design and Manufacturing. And behind us we have a really special car. Herman actually built this vehicle. Is this your own?
This is my personal vehicle.
His personal vehicle, but also a demo car for the show. And is it accurate to say that the goal with this vehicle was a completely immersive sound experience?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got the chance to actually take a little sneak peek yesterday and hear this, and holy cow, you guys are in for a treat. So we are going to be doing a walk around. You guys know this channel is all about fabrication. We really like to talk to experts in this industry, high-level builders, and kind of pick their brain on how the system was designed, how you actually built everything. And I've got to say, there's a ton of advanced technology used in the fabrication throughout this build. So again, you guys are in for a treat. We're going to do a walk around. We're going to take a listen, and without further ado, let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
So, starting from right here, or tell us, I think you got enough amplifiers back here, first of all.
Actually, I was going to use one more, but I ran out of room. But yeah, building an immersive system. It has a lot of speakers, so it takes a lot of channels. There's 8 amplifiers total. There's also 2 DSPs. I had 2 Aerospace 8-12 DSPs. They're hidden behind that quarter panel. Yeah, that's where all the processing is. But yeah, we have
8 total. Holy
8
crap.
total. Yes.
Yeah, so let's count them up really quick. So one down here, and what model is that?
That's a Pro 430 Class A AV 4-channel amp.
Okay. Running
The front mids and tweeters for the front stage. We got 3 Pro 410s. One of them is running all the speakers on the what's called the height channels. So we have speakers on the roof and on top of the A-pillars. Another 4 channels is running all the surround channels, speakers on the rear doors and also on the D-pillars. And another one, it's a bridge into 2 channel running the center channel. There's a 6.5 and a tweeter on the center channel. Yeah. Then we got a 2 channel for the mid bass, and we got mono amps for the bass duties.
So 2 channel?
2 channel for mid bass, mono for each sub, and there's actually a mono for a front sub that we'll add in for future shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for some
There's
future fun activities, there's more.
Yes.
So how many channels total are we at?
So
right
we're
now?
in a total of 24 speakers, and we're in a total of 21 channels of amplification.
Holy cow. Yeah. So fabrication-wise, obviously you guys can see, multiple different layers of acrylic. Are these actually on different LED screens?
Yes, they're on different LED controllers, so we can assign the colors different. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And I like the pattern that you designed here. Yeah. You want to explain that a little bit? Just
That's
kind of the inspiration?
Yeah, my inspiration started with the new Gladen speaker lines. If you guys seen on previous Mark videos, the Gladen Zeta speakers.
Yeah, we just did a Zeta video the other day. You guys can go check out on the channel.
The grills have a big G and a bunch of triangles, and I figured it's a cool pattern. I've done hexagon, circles, stuff in the past, but I figured the triangles are like a new thing, and I figured it was cool. Actually, after I decided on the pattern, I got a brand new BMW at the shop, like a 2025 X5, and they're using the same pattern on the interior.
Oh,
so it kind of flows. It gives it a little bit more modern look.
That's awesome.
It's also a gradient pattern, so it starts with solid triangles and then it starts diffusing.
Yep.
And if you pay close attention, you get the same pattern on the Alcantara.
Oh man, we'll have to get a good B-roll shot of that for the guys, because it's a little harder to see on this camera, but yeah, that looks really cool. I didn't even realize actually until looking here.
I'm a huge fan of those details that you see only when you step up really close.
Yeah.
So and it's also, again, with solid triangles, and they start diffusing as you move towards the center of the piece.
Oh, I got you. Okay, I see that. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. By the time you get here, it's kind of just
gone.
faded out completely.
Same on the sub enclosure.
Oh, from the sides to the middle.
Yes, from the sides to the middle.
Awesome. Yeah. What about this logo right here?
That logo, it's actually a 3D printed badge. We printed that out of a resin printer. It's designed to match the contour of the arc of the trim panel.
Okay. The trim panel, obviously, like you just said, there's a lot of curvature going on there. How is the trim panel built?
The trim panel was built we basically build the sides here, then build the top layer and just use an arc to create that curvature that we wanted.
Gotcha.
And just stick the side pieces to follow that curvature.
Okay.
And then a big round over on the front and on the back to kind of blend it with the rear seat.
MDF?
That's built out of MDF.
Yeah, right on. Yes. So tell me about the subwoofers here.
So the subs, we're running the Gladen Aerospace subs. There are 10-inch drivers that are in a sealed enclosure that, even though it looks small, it's a 2 cubic foot enclosure.
Really?
2.1 cubic foot enclosure, yeah. Most the enclosure, you guys only see the top section, but then it gets, of course, wider and it drops down into the cubby.
Oh, it actually extends below.
It extends
like this
even
level.
below the line of this amplifier.
Really?
It extends all the way down to the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 cubic feet. Wow.
2 cubic foot, yeah.
Gotcha.
Made out of all 3/4 inch birch.
Nice.
Dual baffle bracing, yeah.
Very nice.
The whole 9 yards.
Why'd you choose to go inverted?
I chose to go inverted mostly because of the looks.
Yeah,
I really like
they're
the way
beautiful,
these subwoofers are beautiful from the back. So I figured it's a good opportunity to showcase them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were telling me a little bit yesterday about some of the additional techniques you had to use to kind of cover, make this mounting flange.
Yes, correct. These subs weren't designed to be mounted inverted. They have notches around the frame to put a grill. And when you put the grill and you mount the subwoofer traditionally, it seals against the enclosure. But when you mount it inverted and you don't use the grill, you end up with a bunch of notches where air could leak. So we ended up doing we're making a sandwich basically. Let me pull these rings off. These are just trim rings. So we're making a sandwich with an ABS ring.
Can we see the back side of the ring?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got the wiring through there. So
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta take the wiring.
No, you don't need to. I was just curious to see. So you've got magnets.
Yes,
holding it on.
we got magnets that align with the screws and they hold it out. And there's an ABS ring with a gasket that is sandwiching the speaker against the enclosure, and that gives us a perfect seal.
Nice. So sorry, I missed that. Are there magnets embedded in this? Or
No, we're using the screws at contact points for the magnets.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then it's just snapped right in.
Yeah, and I got to mention something really quick because whenever I use magnets in videos, it always comes up. Somebody will say, "Oh, that's gonna rattle," but man, Herman and I were ripping on this thing yesterday, and it absolutely does not rattle. Yeah. So, wow. Anything else to add in the back here?
Small touches like this is where the cargo cover used to go, which I don't have anymore and I'm not planning on using. So we ended up designing these caps on the computer and printing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the next thing we're going to get into is the fact that there's not a whole lot of. Is there anything 3D printed going on here other than the logo or
the pods for the rear speakers and the grills?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and as we move up front, you're going to see that Herman definitely employs a lot of 3D printing in his build. So tell me more about these pods since we're here.
So these pods are running what's called our back surround or rear surround for the Atmos system, and they house a 4-inch Gladen Gen 100 driver and a Gen 22 tweeter.
Wow.
And they've been designed, with a curvature to follow the line of the car.
There's two drivers in
There's two drivers.
There's
a 4-inch and a tweeter, and they're hidden behind the grill that is also curved and contour to the panel. Yeah.
That is so cool.
And we got some lighting here too that at night gives you a nice glow of the
both
trunk.
sides. There you
go.
go.
That's where the factory trunk light was.
Okay. Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Just incorporated some RGB lighting.
There you go. I was going to mention on the grill, so obviously there's a lot of fine detail there, so you go with resin printing. Did you also resin print the pod itself?
No, those are made out of filament.
Those are filaments.
Filament
okay.
printing, yes.
What filament?
ABS.
ABS, right on.
ABS,
nice.
Yeah. So it's totally serviceable. If you pop the D-pillar out, you could unscrew the pod, take it out, and change speakers if you have to do service.
Do you have the speaker wire on like a harness too?
Yes. Yeah. I have everything on Molex harness. Yeah. Molex is fully serviceable. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Dude, it's already super cool and we haven't even started moving forward, but let's go towards the front of the vehicle.
So these are actually the only factory locations that we're still using on the car. It's the rear doors. We changed the speakers for Gladen drivers, Gen 100 and Gen 22, so a 4-inch mid-range and a 22mm tweeter. They're running on our 3D printed adapters, which are part of the program, the ORCA speaker program. So they're direct drop-in for BMW. Same connector, same mounting points, just better drivers.
Can you tell me a little bit about that program for the ORCA dealers?
So we created a program for our dealers where, of course, if you're an ORCA dealer and you're part of the program, you get access to a database where we're constantly adding new vehicles. So let's say you have a vehicle like this BMW, and you could buy one of our plug-and-play kits from either Focal Inside or Gladen One Line. Let's say you want to do something better, you want a nicer high-end speaker. So we created adapters that perfectly fit the vehicle and perfectly fit our drivers. So if you have a vehicle coming into the bay and you don't have time to design or you don't want a router and adapter, you just log into our portal, you choose the brand of the vehicle, the model, you choose the speaker that you're going to use from our product line, and you can just download a file that goes directly to the print.
Yeah, that's super cool. So yeah, if you guys are watching this video and you're a professional and are interested in becoming an ORCA dealer, definitely reach out to them. And for those of you guys that are maybe looking to find an ORCA dealer to install your build, you can also check out their dealer locator on their website. We'll put a link for that down in the video description.
So we got a little bit more of business going in the front. We got, it kind of looks, I wanted to give it that stockish look, but with a little bit of aftermarket as well. So we are on traditional BMWs have an 8-inch woofer under the seat, a 4-inch driver on the door, and a tweeter on the sail panel. We're using the same configuration of 8, 4, and tweeter, but not using the factory locations.
Really?
Yeah, for the mid-bass, we went with kick panels, and to follow the theme on the back, we decided to invert the 8-inch drivers. Those are the new Gladen SATA woofers.
Yep.
Which they are a beast.
Yeah, we that's the series that we just reviewed on the channel. If you guys want to go see the full review video, I'll put a link for it also down in the description. Yeah. But those things are really cool. And again, obviously with this being a demo vehicle, the inverted mount there is really neat. So
it's actually also quite useful because you wanna, when you're daily driving the car, you're not worried about hitting the cone with your feet. You would on a traditional.
That's a good point.
Kick panel application. I even built a new rest pedal on the driver's side. You can rest your feet right next to the speaker, and you can drive the car as normal.
Okay. So are those in like an enclosure?
No, those are an infinite baffle configuration. Okay. So there was some sheet metal cutting to put those speakers in there. They're vented to the frame rail of the car, and then the frame is vented outside of the vehicle.
So cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, and again, can you explain like the benefit of that? Because again, I listened to this a little bit yesterday, and the mid bass in this car is stellar. It anchors the subs to the front really well, and oh my god, it just sounds so good.
The infinite baffle acts as if it's a giant enclosure with the benefits that you don't have to worry about any resonances or anything on the car because they are mounted solid to the chassis.
Yeah.
Those points are really solid points of the vehicle, so by mounting the speaker directly to that, we make sure that the mid bass is as solid as it gets.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, awesome.
It is.
A little bit of editing magic real quick here, but obviously we were talking on the passenger side of the vehicle. Things get a little bit more complicated on the driver's side, right? So tell us, obviously some modification had to happen there.
Some electronics relocations as well, the OBD port, the FRM, which is like the central that handles all the electronics on the interior of the car, was right there, so we had to move it. Yeah. The latch to pull to open the hood.
Where did you go with everything?
It's underneath the dash panels.
Okay.
Like underneath these were on that side.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have to extend any wires. There was enough wire. We made some new brackets to fit everything. Yes.
Wow.
We also had to make a new rest pedal because the factory one wouldn't fit anymore.
This is not factory.
No, the grooves are the same width and the same depth as the factory ones.
Yeah.
But it's just a longer version because the factory one went a lot more to the left.
Yeah.
So now we made a shorter version and extended it a little bit more, so you could rest your.
It's funny. I was thinking, they probably just did a really good job of cutting it. But yeah, if you look at the groove pattern, obviously that wouldn't have made sense to just cut it. So. It's printed?
Yeah, it's printed.
Resin or
it's filament? Filament.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, you have to do some body work and whatnot to kind of finish it.
Printed on a really good quality and a slow print.
Yeah.
I was gonna do it on a resin printer, and at last minute before the show, I ran out of resin and it wouldn't get there in time, so I just did it on filament on a really slow print, high quality, so we didn't have to do much body work, just sanding and
just a little bit of high build primer.
Yeah, high build primer, sandblasted, and it was good to go.
Wow, man, I'm glad you pointed that out because to me, it's those little details that I can appreciate the heck out of that. That is so sick. So again, factory locations?
Not anymore. No 4-inch driver here.
Nothing there.
Nothing there. We moved everything to the dash.
Gotcha.
We actually took the dash out of the car to mount the speakers.
Wait, hold on. So is there a factory location normally in that dash corner? No.
We created all these, both the dash locations and the center channel.
And that was kind of a loaded question, but the reason I asked that is, come on, guys, be honest. If you looked at that, you would think that's a factory location. But the level of fabrication Herman is able to achieve, with his design skills and the 3D printing, that is absolutely killer. Can you pop off that grill like we were looking at it yesterday?
Absolutely.
Explain for the guys a little bit, your design choices there.
So it's a resin printed grill that has, a circular pattern to mimic any other grill. And as the factory grills, they usually have a reinforcement. I don't know if we can see it.
You can see it perfectly, yeah.
With another circular pattern inside to actually act as a reinforcement.
Yeah.
And also when you look at it from the top, it gives it that OEM grill look where you see the other layer of circles.
This is like the coolest thing to me.
Yeah,
because like Herman said, that's something that you commonly see in the OEMs. They add that little bit of thickness for reinforcement.
Correct.
And it's cool because actually on the camera here, if you look straight on, it kind of disappears. And the second you go at an angle, you see that little bit more thickness.
Correct.
That is so cool.
Then we have little walls that basically cover the gap that we have on the dash, because the dash is not perfectly flat, so this just follows the curves of the dash, ends against the pillar, and then we have magnets to snap the grill against the mounting points on the speaker.
Let's take a look without the
Those
grill
are
there.
Gladen Gen 100 4-inch speakers on both corners of the dash.
So cool. So if you want to pop that back in real quick, I'll let you, but tell me about the tweeter that we've got going on.
The tweeter,
it's a little different.
Yes, these are Gladen AMT tweeters. So it's a different technology to a traditional tweeter where there's not a membrane there. It's not either a soft dome or it's not a metal dome. It's just an aluminum bellow that is really thin and it's folded into thin pieces. And then when we apply current through the aluminum, that just moves the air, and that's what we're listening to.
Nice.
The air moving inside that transducer. Yeah.
When you're using those, what's your like design theory in regards to like aiming and location?
Those, opposed to a traditional dome or inverted dome tweeter, these tweeters are really directional, which is good and bad. I mean, if you aim them properly, it's really good because you don't have to worry about any of the reflections on the vehicle. A traditional dome tweeter, we have a really wide dispersion, so you'll end up having difficulties dealing with all the reflections from the windshield and side windows. And with these tweeters, the dispersion pattern of these tweeters is looking straight at you, so it doesn't really matter, what you have on the sides, the windows. It doesn't really affect the response as you would with a traditional tweeter.
Gotcha. Dude, we have to hop in here, and I think we need to talk about, there's a ton of unique processing and a unique source design that you've gone with in here. Let's hop in just for a change of scenery, and we'll discuss there. All right, so we are obviously in the vehicle now, and Herman mentioned, there's so many channels, I've lost track, so tell us about up here as well.
Those are front height channel speakers. They play when we're playing music in Atmos format. They act as front height speakers, and they are 2-inch wide ones from Gladen, the Sigma line. Of course, we have to modify the pillar, grow it a little bit so they could fit, and then again we resin printed a grill that looks kind of like the one on the dash.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Everything matches like perfectly.
Wrapped everything in Alcantara. I mean, pillars, headliner, all the deep A, B, C, and D pillars. Everything has been wrapped in Alcantara.
Yeah.
All the plastics have been blacked out. Everything to match.
Very nice.
Center console, the trims, all been redone in Alcantara.
Oh, really? Okay. Gotcha. And then, so it's a little hard to see from my position here, but tell me about the center channel.
So, originally this car came with a 4-inch driver on the center channel, and we moved to a 6.5 and a tweeter.
Okay.
But still kept it. We had to do a little bit of trimming on the dash, but tried to keep it, again, like OEM looking as possible, even keeping the side bends functional. Yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge, but it came out really, really nice.
Yeah, I'd say, wow. So, and then just real quick on the interior, because you can tell me a little bit about the LED lighting?
Yes, this LED lighting it's paired to the trunk lighting, so we got 2 different channels where we could just, program the zones independently, the front to the rear, and just have a little bit of color chasing to make it a little bit a show car.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, for daily driver, you just put an amber color and it's really, really subtle.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, looks great. So, all right, now we can get to the fun stuff. So, you had mentioned the Atmos processing.
Yes.
So, what's the advantage of that in the vehicle?
So, it's where the whole concept of this car was trying to mimic vehicles that come from the factory with Dolby Atmos. We've worked on a couple of those at our shop, and they're really, really interesting because when the engineer is mastering the track, usually on a traditional stereo, they can only move objects or single instruments from left to right. And, if they play them both at the same time and same intensity on left and right, we get a center image.
Exactly.
When we're doing Atmos, it becomes a three-dimensional soundstage where the engineer can move those objects or singers. They can move it from the front to the sides to the back. They can move it from the bass channels to floor channels to the height. So you can play certain instruments or certain effects higher or lower, or further forward and back, depending on the song or what the engineer is trying to do.
So with the Atmos, you obviously need to have some sort of unique processing power, with your source unit. What are you actually using for a source in this vehicle?
For a source, we're using an Apple TV, And from there, I modified a home audio receiver to decode that signal and then send it to all discrete analog outs to the two Mosconi DSPs. It was a challenge.
Where does that all live in the vehicle?
That's on the trunk right next to the two Aerospace DSPs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we talked about it. Where are the DSPs?
On the back, on the trunk, on the driver's side.
Oh, that's
panel.
right. We did talk about that in the quarter panel on the driver's side.
But all we see is this little controller, the Gladen Gladiator. That's where we change presets and we can switch between Atmos and 2-channel.
He's talking about this guy right here.
We're using this Gladen Gladiator controller to control the whole system. This is where we switch back and forward between traditional 2-channel stereo to the full Atmos thing. We control volume, subwoofer, presets, everything from
Gotcha.
there.
So it has a button,
yes,
right? So you're saying, how many different tunes do you have?
So right now I have just 2 tunes, one for the 2-channel stereo and then another one for play the full Atmos experience.
Gotcha.
I'm also controlling. It's actually more comfortable and convenient to control volume from here than using the factory volume now in this car.
Yeah. It's just right here by where your arm is naturally when you're driving.
Correct.
So.
That's exactly why it's there. So by default, I have it programmed to do master volume, and then if I do one click, I change to subwoofer level. The LED ring changes color, and if I click again, I could change my presets.
Gotcha. Okay, so you can go back and forth between subwoofer level control versus
Volume
preset
control,
switching
yes.
control.
You could do tone control. You could adjust your bass, your mid, your treble too. You could do fader. You could do balance with the knob. You could do everything.
All based on how you set up the software.
Correct. You gotta program it how you want it. So the way we're demoing this car, we're first playing some songs on stereo, just using the front stage, a 3-way active system and a sub. Traditional system you would get on a regular car. So that people that listen to the car could actually appreciate the detail and the quality of the drivers and how the car sounds on an environment that they're used to. Because most of the guys, when we play Atmos, they never heard something like this before. So there's no reference. Unless you're a home audio guy and you have a Atmos setup in your house or you have a car with factory Dolby Atmos, which is super rare. So we're trying to recreate regular conditions so the guys could listen to it in stereo, and then we jump to Atmos and we turn on the full 24 speakers and blast it.
Gotcha. Do you actually, so will you be playing like a song and then you switch to Atmos mode, or do you like demo a song in like front stage mode?
Yeah, demo a song in front stage mode and,
Okay.
Take a 10-second break to, explain people what we're doing now. We're turning on all the speakers and what they're going to expect.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden they're going to start hearing the artists here, and then maybe the backup singers are on the back and the trumpets could be on the roof. So kind of explain to them what they're going to listen to.
Yeah.
It's a whole different
Get that
experience,
immersive experience. Yeah. So yesterday, like I mentioned before, I got a chance to, get that demo experience. And when we listened to the front stage first, everything that I expected, obviously a super anchored center image, sounded crystal clear, absolutely incredible. But like you said, when we went to the immersive experience, I believe the track is it called Boom?
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys can look up you'll recognize the song, I'm pretty sure, as soon as you start playing it, if you don't know the name of the song. But that song has like a lot of effects, basically, like you were describing, that the mastering engineer, picked exactly what they wanted to happen as you're experiencing that song. And the bass would just be like...
He went crazy with that song.
Yeah, just all, like you can hear it physically move with purpose. It's not like it's just like all over the place. It's like he designed that song to be like, you want to hear it here, and now you want to hear it here. And then that other effect where it kind of like moves around the vehicle, it almost sounded like somebody was just like running around the car, like it's wild. And then the other song we were listening to is Rocket Man by Elton John. And you're like, listen for the rocket go over. And it's literally like, you're sitting here facing forward like you're driving the car, and it's just like, I wish I could describe it better. I'm not good at making music, but yeah, the experience is definitely immersive. This is where I always issue this disclaimer. I'd love to let you guys listen to what this vehicle sounds like, but it's literally impossible, right? Through the camera, because you're hearing the speakers on whatever device you're actually listening to this video on. So I think we can hammer it a little bit though, just so guys get the intensity of the sound, and then let's come back and discuss how it performs. Hold on a second, guys. So I'm back home now. I'm working on editing this video, and I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to upload all of the demo footage to a separate private video here on YouTube that you guys can check out. It'll be kind of a secret video. You guys can access that down at the link in the video description as well to see the demo experience. In the meantime, back to our discussion in vehicle. I cannot get over how like anchored the bass is. Just like, it sounds like it's just like punching me in the face.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What do you think of this system? Like, what kind of stands out to you?
I like it. It's honestly the first time I've ever done a system for one of my cars that I didn't have to worry about the budget constraint or what the customer was going to think or how it was going to look. I just, let's do something crazy, and I'm extremely happy with it. Yeah, the mid bass. Everybody that gets on the car is like, the mid bass is crazy. Has tons of power, tons of headroom. It's a system that to me ticks all the boxes. You play sound quality music, it just sounds like you're not inside of a car. You blast it in 2-channel, it gets loud, it doesn't get fatiguing at all. Been doing 5 hours probably yesterday of constant demos back to back, turning it up to 11, and you don't get off the car with a headache or anything. It's just crystal clear. And when you want to go crazy and feel the whole immersive stuff, you just flip a switch and you got the Atmos, or you got the full, like home immersive experience. So it's like, I'm more than happy with this. Yeah, with the Apple TV, just out of curiosity, have you? I mean, obviously you're not going to watch a movie while you're driving, right? When you're chilling on a parking lot.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
I tried it with Netflix. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What movie?
I was watching with one of my guys here at the shop, the F1 series.
Oh, really?
To Survive, yeah.
Oh, is that's recorded in Atmos?
It is. Yeah,
really?
The music is in Atmos. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, cool. That is neat. Nice. Well, hey, Herman, this is dude, an awesome system. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Another quick note from the editing station here. This vehicle ended up winning the Best Sounding Vehicle Award, voted on by all the attendees of the MasterTech Expo. So big congrats to Herman and the rest of the crew. So a big shout out to ORCA Design and Manufacturing, of course, for being a sponsor of the channel and, also helping out with this build. This is incredible. Do you have any shout outs you want to?
Yeah, to the guys at the shop at Sound Innovations, Junior, Gio, Agustin, of course, also Ernie, that let me, use the shop to stay up to 3, 4 a.m. every day. The guys staying with me, trying to get this car done for the show. So yeah, shout out to them too.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys knocked it out of the park. It is so cool. Well done, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Be sure to check out the MasterTech Expo also. You got to get to this show, one of the best shows for car audio, custom installation, custom vehicle fabrication. Thanks, guys, for watching.